Hello there, my fellow myth and fantasy nerds. My name is Tanner, and I'd like to welcome you back to my YouTube channel. So, it is currently storming where I'm at, so if you hear any strange noises in the background, that's probably the reason. Anyway, I have recently gotten a request to do a video about fairies and fairy folklore. Now, there is a lot of lore behind the Fae that the everyman may or may not know. I mean, hey, I like to consider myself a mythology expert, and even I didn't know some of this stuff until I researched it. In fact, there's so much that I have learned. I think I may need to make separate videos just to fit it all into a reasonable time frame. Now, before I move on, I would like to dedicate this video and any subsequent fairy videos that I make to my wonderful niece, who I recently got to spend a lot of time with. River, if you're watching this, Uncle Tanner loves you. So as always, please make sure to leave a like on this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe down below. Pretty please! It'll help me make more content for you. And without further ado, here is Fairy Lore Part 1. What is a fairy? So to start things off, we should probably answer the question, what exactly is a fairy? Now, I bet that when you hear the word fairy, your mind probably conjures an image of a humanoid creature with wings and magical powers. Because of modern media, you probably think that characters such as Cinderella's fairy godmother or Tinkerbell are the standard definition of the term. However, though they could definitely be considered a type of fairy, there are other types that you may not have considered. After all, Maleficent is just as much of a fairy as Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather. But if those depictions aren't completely accurate, then what is? Well, let's start off with the word fairy. Many countries all across Europe have used terms such as fairy, fae, and fairfolk to describe creatures or spirits with paranormal or supernatural abilities and traits. Now, considering how broad of a description that is, one could definitely assume that in those days, really any mythical creature could be considered a fairy. And the term was used not in a way that would describe a certain type or species, but rather as an umbrella term by which a lot of creatures could fall under. And this would definitely explain why fairy tales contain such a wide variety of mythical and fantastical creatures, wouldn't you say? Now, some depictions of these fantastical creatures describe their encounters with humans to be fairly benevolent, while others can be seen as more sinister, almost warnings. Now, typically, fairies are described as small winged humanoid creatures, although some are said to be tall enough that they can pass as humans. Some are also described as being completely wingless, so there really is no one way to describe these fantastical creatures. Many cultures even sought to sort the Fae into different categories. The most common categorization, and the one that is still prevalent in the modern day, being the two Fae courts. The Seelie court described those beautiful, helpful members of the Fae folk. Those vibrant creatures that tended to seek out humans for favors, offering things such as blessings and wishes in return for helping them. But don't let their vibrant, helpful nature fool you, as, if insulted, these fae have been known to be vengeful. The Seelie court is often associated with the seasons of spring and summer, as they are said to have enjoyed dancing in the light and the warmth of the sun. The Unseelie court, on the other hand, were the opposing counterparts of the Seelie court. Described as hideous creatures that had absolutely no concern for friendliness, the Unseelie court were commonly associated with autumn and winter, as they preferred to do their own mischief under the cover of darkness. They were said to dabble with the dark arts and would actively harm humans for their own amusement. They were commonly the ones who would steal children from the human realm, as they were completely unable to bear their own. Now, other ways to categorize the Fae folk are the trooping fairies, the solitary fairies, and the domesticated fairies. Now, trooping fairies are the ones who formed their own groups and societies with their own laws, rules, and guidelines to live by. Solitary fairies, by contrast, prefer to live alone and are typically those that are considered tricksters. And finally, domesticated fairies are the ones who tend to live alongside human households, typically known for doing household chores in exchange for food, drink, and shelter. Now, I could probably go on and on and on and on about the subject by breaking down the different fey creatures throughout myth, legend, and folklore, or about the various rules and regulations our ancestors thought were necessary should humans encounter the fair folk. But I feel like those are subjects that warrant videos of their own. And there we have it. That was part one of fairy lore. What is a fairy? If you liked this video and you want more, please consider leaving a like and subscribing down below so you don't miss any new content from me. Also, if you have any other ideas you want to see in any future videos, please leave your suggestions in the comments down below. Who knows? It might just happen. Alright. Well, that's all the time I have for this video, so I'll see you all next week with part 2 of this series, where I will go over different fae creatures and beings throughout folklore. See you guys then.